So this is a 45-minute session. We do half of it, the first part, what is called pranayama. It's a very important part of yoga, which is, kind of summarize it, it's breathing exercises, different ways of breathing, but all part of the yoga system. And then the second part will be meditation, all right? Which is also part of yoga, by the way. Sometimes people say, I do yoga, I do meditation. Well, meditation is considered part of maybe the most important part of the yoga system. That is called Ashtanga yoga, the 8-limb system. So yoga, classic yoga is made out of 8 different types of practices, so different aspects of practice, different layers of practice to make a whole yoga complete. So let's do that, okay? So let's first make sure we're sitting comfortably. Seated position, it's already a yoga pose, so it's very important how we sit. The lower body can be in any comfortable position, cross-legged or anything that feels comfortable. And a position that allows the upper body to be upright. See if you need to adjust a bit or arrange yourself. And then what I recommend is moving a little bit forward and back until you find the middle, the center. And you find when you're organizing your spine right at the center, it's much easier to hold the upright position. It's much easier to breathe, you'll see. And it's a great habit to start developing. So for more advanced pranayama, it's good to really keep the spine upright. And at the same time, start relaxing the shoulders a bit, the neck and the face. You want to sit in a very relaxed, calm state, physically at least, and hopefully mentally as well. Let's start with the eyes closed and just be aware of the fact that we are breathing. I'm going to ask you to mostly breathe through the nose today. So see what it feels like to breathe through the nose. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to explore, I think most of you are probably familiar with it, explore a special way of breathing through the nose, which is called Ujjayi Pranayama. It's a special way that we're creating sound for the breath. It's a very soft, hissing sound coming from the back of the throat. So basically, you can imagine blowing steam on a mirror or glass, but you try to do it with the mouth closed. So take a slow inhale and try to create that sound as you breathe out. And again, take a comfortable inhale and do that sound as you breathe out. And take your time, continue exploring this technique. There's not much to it. You don't have to think about it. You don't have to actually contract muscles deliberately. The muscles will be contracted around the vocal cord, the vocal cords, the gluteus area. But that happens naturally if you just try to create that soft sound. If you're not sure, you can always open your mouth, do it a couple of times with the mouth open. It's easier usually. And then after you get a feel of that vibration in the center of the throat, you can start doing it again with your mouth closed and eventually doing it as you breathe in as well. And the sound should be very clear. You should be able to hear it clearly through your ears, but it shouldn't be too loud, quite soft. A very soothing, a very calming sound. Sounds a bit like a mantra repeating itself. Now, this kind of breath has a lot of benefits. The most important one, it forces us to breathe consciously and deliberately. Those vibrations in the throat affect the vagus nerve, very important nerve that plays a huge role in the parasympathetic nervous system. That's a part of the nervous system that is in charge of resting, of being more at ease, digesting, all those kind of things that require us to be comfortable and relaxed. So that stimulates that part of our nervous system, that part of our being. And it creates some heat in the chest. It also keeps the posture more upright. It's very difficult to breathe this way when you are kind of rounding the back or dropping forward or slouching. I'm going to ask you to take a few more of those breaths, and then we're going to slowly start extending the breath a little bit. And from a natural breath that goes about 15, 16 breaths per minute, this is what happens throughout the day when you don't pay attention to the breath. We're going to slowly go down to about 5 or 6 breaths per minute. So I'm going to recommend to start with the breath in 4 seconds, breath out about 6, and see how it feels. If you feel it's too long for you, you can do always a bit of faster breath. And later I'll let you also do it a bit slower. So let's breathe out together. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See if you can continue like that. Count quietly to yourself. So when the exhale is a bit longer, it feels for most of us more comfortable. But if it doesn't feel comfortable for you, feel free to do 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. That's okay as well. And see if you can feel comfortable with doing a round of breath for every 10 seconds, in every 10 seconds, which means 6 breaths per minute. And if you feel this is quite easy, you can increase a bit, do 5 seconds in and 7 seconds out, and that will arrange your breath to about 5 breaths per minute, which is a great place to start our pranayama practice. Now be mindful that even though you're breathing less breaths per minute, we still need the same amount of air that we need throughout the day when we're resting, which means that every breath has to be a little bit deeper, or twice, more or less double as deep as your natural breath, your default breath. But if you pay attention, you notice that when you breathe slower, it happens naturally that the breath goes a bit deeper. Don't force your breath to be too deep. Just try to feel comfortable breathing this way. After 3 more breaths, I'm going to add another layer to this, another component. See if you can continue breathing with the sound of the breath and trying to organize your breath to about 5 or 6 breaths per minute. And if it's too much for you, please don't hesitate to find another rhythm that works for you. The most important thing, you want to stay calm and relaxed physically, mentally. This is something we never compromise. The moment we feel strained or stressed or difficulty in any kind of way, we find ways to do the same exercise with more ease. If it doesn't work, we just stop right away. In this practice, pranayama, there are no benefits to pushing ourselves or to stressing ourselves in any way. So please remind yourself, this is very important. You'll progress. If you continue practicing with in a calm state, progression will happen organically. Pushing yourself will not end well in this kind of practice. So just don't do that. Wonderful. Here's another layer, another pranayama practice called Dirga Svasam pranayama. This is the way we move the breath along the spine. So you can imagine you have 3 compartments along the spine. You've got the lower compartment, that's the lower belly area. You've got the middle compartment, that's the upper belly area. And then you got the upper compartment, which is the chest area. Later on, you can even create 4. It's imaginary, of course, but we use it as just a reference. And we're going to move the breath systematically in different ways, 2 different ways today. So breathe all the way out. Continue breathing at your own rhythm. As you breathe in, the first third of the breath, you feel the lower compartment, then the middle compartment, then the upper compartment. And then as you breathe out, the upper compartment empties first, then the middle one, and the lower one. So we move the breath this way. Inhale, we feel the lower one, the middle one, upper one, each one about a third of the breath. Exhale, upper one, middle one, lower one, each one 1/3 of the breath. Try it a few more times and be very deliberate with that. try to make sure you actually feel some movement. So you can feel that you're feeling the belly, lower belly, upper chest. It doesn't have to be big movement, it can be very small. But you want to try your best to create this kind of sense of feeling up the body and then emptying the body and feeling it in your body clearly. Take another breath or two like that, see how it feels. And then whenever you're ready, you can start transitioning or moving or shifting to the other direction. So you can breathe all the way out. On the inhale, you move the breath from the top, so upper compartment, middle, and then lower. As you breathe out, you empty the lower first, then the middle one, then the upper one. So you move in that direction now. Inhale from the top down, each part 1/3 of your breath. As you breathe out from the bottom up, each part 1/3 of your breath. Try to see how that feels. You might feel a little bit different, those two ways of moving breath. One, for many people, feels a bit more easy than the other. It doesn't mean that it's better for you. So just notice how it feels. And I recommend at some point being able to breathe in both ways comfortably, which means the harder one needs a bit more attention, again, without feeling stress or strain. Take another 2 or 3 breaths. Wonderful. And then you can empty all the breath out. Relax the breath for a moment. If you need to change the position, stretch your legs or something, you can do that for a moment. We're going to shift into Viloma Pranayama, and that will focus today more on the inhale. This is what we do today. Another time we'll focus more on the exhale, which means we pause in the middle of the inhale, divide the inhale to segments, and do short pauses along the way. You'll see what I mean. I'll guide you through it for the first few rounds, then I'll let you continue on your own. So you can use the Ujjayi breath, which is very useful in this practice. You can also use what we did, the up and down movement, or the down and up, whatever you prefer. Actually, let's use the up and down movement. All right? It'll be more compatible. So breathe all the way out whenever you're ready. Then inhale 1/3 of the way and pause right there, just for 2 or 3 seconds. Then continue inhaling 1 more third, pause, and then finish the inhale all the way through and pause full of breath. It might take you a few rounds to figure out those thirds, how much air it is actually. Breathe all the way out slowly through your nose. And again, inhale 1/3, pause, then feel the air in just 1 more third, pause, and then finish the breath all the way in. Pause, hold the breath in full of air. How does that feel? The heart expands and lifts a bit. And then breathe all the way out from the top down. Let's try it one more time. Inhale 1/3, pause. Continue 1 more third with your inhale, pause. And finish the inhale all the way through. And pause right there. And then breathe all the way out. Take a few breaths without pausing. With a slow inhale and a slow exhale. And one more time. And we'll do one more time with a bit more attention. You'll see what I mean on different parts of the body. Whenever you're ready, breathe all the way out. Inhale 1/3 and pause at the center of your belly. Just observe the center of the belly. Focus your attention there. Take another inhale 1 more third. Pause and focus your attention at the heart, the center of the heart. And then continue the breath all the way in. And pause, focus your attention at the throat, right at the center of the throat. Wonderful. Breathe all the way out. Let's try to do it again. Inhale 1/3. Pause at the center of the belly. Continue 1 more third. Pause at the center of the heart. Finish the breath all the way through. Pause at the center of the throat. And then slowly let the breath out. One more time. Inhale 1/3. Pause at the center of the belly. Continue 1 more third. Pause at the center of the heart. Finish the breath all the way through. Pause at the center of the throat. Hold for a few seconds if you can. Heart expands and lifts. Kidney area spreading wide, lower back. Breathe all the way out. And then without pausing, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And do 2 more rounds on your own. Same thing. Just 2 more, please. Thirds. And then relax the breath when you breathe out. Wonderful. We'll take a moment here just to breathe comfortably. If you need to change positions before we do our last breathing exercise, you can try to do that. And take a moment just to observe how it feels in your body after this breath exercise that we did. And now we're going to shift in just a moment to doing a variation of alternate nostril breathing, Nadi Shuddhi, Pranayama. So here's how we're going to do it. We're going to organize the right hand in a mudra called Vishnu Mudra. We're going to bend the 2 middle fingers like that and place the right hand under the nose in that way. So it's easy to close the right nostril and open it with the thumb. And then the other side of the nose with the ring finger and pinky finger. Make sure the shoulders, you can really relax. If the shoulder is tense, you can use the other hand to hold the elbow from the bottom. Otherwise, you put the other hand in this mudra. You don't have to, of course, there's a suggestion. This is symbolic, Jnana Mudra, the gesture of wisdom, on your left knee. This is the classic traditional way of doing it. Close your eyes, and now you're going to let go of the ujjayi. So the throat is relaxed, the breath is quiet. If there is some sound, it's coming from the nose only. Let's breathe out through both sides of the nostrils, both sides of the nose. Let's start on the right side. So close the left and inhale slowly through the right side. If the nose is blocked, don't close the left fully, close it partially. Close the right, open the left, and breathe out on the left. And then please keep the left open. Inhale through the left. If it's blocked, you can partially open the right. Close the left, open the right, and breathe out through the right. And let's continue like that. So inhale through the right, and exhale through the left. Inhale through the left, and exhale through the right. One more time like that. Inhale through the right, slow and steady to the top of the nose. Exhale through the left from the top of the nose out gently. Do it very relaxed way. Inhale through the left, and exhale through the right. And we'll add another component. Inhale to the right. Pause, close both nostrils, hold the breath for a few seconds. Open the left and breathe out slowly to the left, as slow as you can with ease. You want to extend the exhale to the left a bit more. When you finish, keep the left open, inhale to the left, and then close both nostrils and hold. Open the right and breathe out slowly to the right, please. Take your time. And then whenever you're ready, inhale comfortably to the right, whatever speed you need, whatever depth of breath. Close both sides of the nostrils. Hold for about 5-6 seconds. And then whenever you're ready, open the left. Breathe out slowly to the left. Extend it longer than inhale, however long it feels right for you. Whenever you're ready, inhale to the left again. And then close both sides of the nose. Hold for a moment. Feel the sensations, the experience of holding breath shortly. How does it feel? Whenever you're ready, open the right and slowly breathe out to the right. Continue like that 2 more rounds on your own, please. And when you finish breathing out to the right, relax your hands. After the second round, and take a moment to just sit quietly. Notice if you feel any effects of this practice. And before we take our meditation practice, we're going to go back to the first exercise, just a few rounds. If you remember, we're moving the breath up and down and then down and up. Let's try to do a double up pattern so we can use the ujjayi sound or not, whatever you prefer. And basically, as you breathe in, you want to feel the lower compartment, the middle one, then the upper one. And then when you breathe out the same direction, you empty the lower one, the middle one, then the upper one. So it's a double up. We're continuously moving the breath. Inhale and exhale upwards towards the head. So breathe all the way out, just a few times. Inhale from the bottom, feel the breath slowly upward into the chest, upper chest. Pause at the end of the inhale for 2 seconds. Whenever you're ready, breathe out from the bottom up. So empty the belly and slowly empty all the way up into the chest, upper chest. Pause for 2 seconds. And again, inhale from the bottom up, gently, slowly, at your own capacity, your own rhythm. Pause for 2 seconds. Breathe out from the bottom up, slowly, gently. Pause for 2 seconds. Inhale from the bottom up. Continue like that on your own. And then breathe out next time. Pause for 2 seconds. And inhale comfortably. And relax the breath completely. If you need to change positions for a moment, go ahead. We're going to shift into our meditation practice. So set up again the pose, seated pose, upright position. Close your eyes if they're open. And again, just pay attention to the breath moving in and out through your nose. Please allow the breath to be natural, spontaneous. You're not interfering with it. You're not changing it as we did so far. Now we're just allowing breath to move naturally, quietly, on its own, as it does throughout the day, throughout your life. If you can pay attention to that sensations of breathing, so you can really feel the breath in your body. You can feel it in your nose, if that's easier, or you can feel it in your belly. The belly tends to move with the breath, sometimes smaller movements, sometimes bigger movements. If you just relax the belly and allow it to move, it usually moves. So any part of your body you want to focus on that allows you to notice very clearly when the air is coming in, when the air is coming out, and using that flow of breath as kind of an anchor that brings you, keeps you very present, very attentive, very receptive to this present moment and how it feels. And you might discover that the mind is drifting away, grow distracted after a while. That's wonderful to notice. Whenever you're able to notice it, be very much aware of this experience of being distracted or lost in thoughts. Be aware of it for 2 or 3 seconds is enough. And then start again, just noticing the breath, letting the breath bring you back into that present moment. Present moment continues to move forward, doesn't stop, which means you allow attention to move with time, moment to moment to moment, trying to avoid getting stuck on some past moment or leaning or anticipating or expecting something in the future. You just allow this moment to be as it is and immediately let it go and be open for the next moment and so on, using the breath as, again, this anchor, this thing that keeps us there, fully present with the nature of reality. Breath is a real thing happening right now, this moment. And we start calming and stilling the mind a bit, in a way, trying to figure out how to rest at the moment, this present moment, instead of forcing ourselves or making a lot of effort or pulling or pushing ourselves into it. We just kind of symbolically lean back and just allow things to be as they are, shifting from a doing mode. Sometimes the doing mode is just takes place in the mind. We continuously in a doing mode, planning, preparing, analyzing, all those things that we do in our mind very often. So we shift from that mode to a being mode. We're just there to be, not to do anything. There's nothing to do. And being, when it comes to meditation, is really a state of just witnessing, observing, seeing things. That's it. So you can stay with the breath, or you can explore or move attention towards your body and find a good spot in your body you can notice. Maybe the belly, if you want to still continue noticing it, you can feel the breath there. You can feel maybe other things there. You can also notice the palms of your hands. We tend to feel them clearly usually. You can feel temperature there, or dryness, or moist, or other kind of sensations. Any part of your body that you can clearly feel, just focus your attention on that part. Observe it for a moment, witnessing it, receptive, open to it, to whatever you're noticing, whatever you're noticing. There's nothing in particular that you're looking for, and whatever it is not special or unique or something that should give any special attention. Everything that we notice in this practice is equally valuable. Just something to notice, something to see, to witness. Let go of all your preferences, all your biases, all your likings and dislikings, and just allow things to be as they are. And if that part of the body, you already observed it for a moment, for a while, move to another part of the body, continue moving through your body, taking about 5 seconds on each area, and trying to look at different areas of the body, maybe eventually covering your whole body. And give some time to areas that you don't feel anything in, just to see how that feels. If you feel that noticing the body is difficult, you can always come back to the breath. And if you feel you're distracted again, lost in thoughts, same, same thing. You just notice it, observe for a few seconds how this feels, how it feels in your body, how it feels in your breath, how it feels in the mind itself. And then start again, just moving through your body. Be interested, be fresh about it. Just see if you can notice things in your body without looking for anything in particular, without trying to analyze or categorize or label things. You're just kind of scanning through the body, just becoming more and more familiar with the sensations of what it is like to have a body. What does it feel like being in our own body? And we don't get stuck on any area. We're not interested in one sensation more than the other. We're equally interested in everything that we notice. Even if we notice that we don't notice anything, we're interested in that. And the purpose is just noticing. There's nothing else. Just noticing. Just seeing things as they are. See if you can keep to that and just continue moving through your body just another minute or two. There's a part of your body that you haven't paid attention to. Just go ahead and pay attention to that part or a few parts. Whatever that is, maybe the little toe, maybe your knee, maybe the back of one shoulder or back of the neck, whatever part of your body. Try to take another minute and see if you can notice as many parts of your body as possible. We try to stay as calm as we can and noticing if there's any reactivity in the mind, if anything we notice leads to some reaction, we like something, we don't like something, maybe triggers some thoughts about this or that. Whatever the mind is doing as response to something we notice in our body, just be aware of it without changing anything. Awareness of it is really all we do in meditation. There's nothing to fix, there's nothing to change, nothing is broken, just being aware. We'll go back to what we did before with the breath, and then we're going to do it with our awareness. Just going to move in a kind of a steady rhythm. Awareness up along the spine, up, and then up again, just upward, upward, upward a few times. So we start at the pelvic floor region, more or less, and we slowly move attention upward and feeling the sensations along the spinal cord on the way up, eventually arriving through the heart, to the upper chest, to the neck and head, all the way to the top of the head. Pause for a moment, noticing sensations at the crown of the head, and then starting again from the pelvic floor, just moving awareness. You can move it faster or slower to your capacity, to whatever feels more clear, easy, steady. And when you reach the top again, you pause for a few seconds, fix your attention to the top of the head, and start again. And this is the last practice we'll do, almost last. Just a few times, noticing the sensations of moving awareness up. The purpose is to notice, just to notice things, and to start practicing kind of directing our attention at will, instead of attention just moving randomly in a scattered way all over the place. We're now trying to focus it a little bit more, move it at the same time, and be very open, receptive to everything we can notice along the way. Every time we reach the top of the head, we pause for a few seconds, and then we start again. And we'll do 2 more times, just moving awareness upward along the spine, right at the center of your upper body. Doesn't matter if it's the actual spine or not, just where you feel that central line moving through, right in the middle of your body, from the bottom up. And we're going to finish, so 1 more time, with a different practice called metta bhavana. It's a loving kindness practice. It's a different kind of meditation, very different. We're just going to slowly bring our hands together in front of the heart, lower the chin. You don't have to do that with your hands if you don't want to. And just for a minute, we're going to bring into our mind the image of a being, could be a person or an animal, whatever it is, that we feel very lovingly towards. It really triggers good feelings, positive thoughts, and so on. Doesn't trigger us in any negative way. See if you can find a being like that, bring it into your mind, keep the image in your mind, and just wish that being well. Wish them happiness, wish them good health, prosperity, wish them well-being, and joy, and peace, and love. Wish them those kind of things that are quite essential to being happy, to living good life. So not so much material possessions, more just good intentions, goodwill towards them. And really at your heart, just really feel, if you can, sincerely, that you really wish for them to be happy. That there's real desire for them to be happy. Take a moment for that. See how it feels. Wonderful. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.